What's up, YouTube? King Monye right here, tuning in. Thank you to everybody who subscribed and is part of the Monye tribe. We're going to get right into this. So listen, mental health is a serious issue, right? Mental health is something that is often frowned upon or misunderstood. Oh, snap. Now hold on, baby. Get back up there. We got a job to do. Okay, y'all still with me? Listen, man, I'm trying something new. I need a new platform right there. So I'm in my helicopter and we just post it up like that. Mental health is serious though. But it's a lot of times it's misunderstood, right? And sometimes it's hard to distinguish, or it's hard to tell, it's hard to identify if a person is dealing with mental illness or if they're just dealing with drug addiction. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes when they're using drugs, it's hard to tell if they, you know what I'm saying, have both. One can affect the other. Okay, so I'm speaking from experience. You know, this is all coming from experience. So how do you distinguish between the two? You know, when your life experiences have caused you to look and view life a certain way, right? How many of you can relate to, you know what I'm saying, having guns pointed in your face by either whether it's gang members or whether it's law enforcement who's sworn to protect and serve the community, but putting guns in your face saying, freeze, get on the ground, you know, for no reason other than you are on parole or probation and they are doing a parole sweep or they are doing a house search and so ultimately I take responsibility for my actions that have caused these people to be in part of my life. You know what I'm saying? Whether I committed a crime and I've been on parole or I committed a crime on probation. But I remember a time when I was staying in La Mesa, California, you know, and I was on the run. I'm on the run and I'm on the run, but I'm still in San Diego. I'm on the run for maybe like a probation violation. I haven't been completing the terms of probation. And so I know that the probation is looking for me. I know that probation is looking for me. So everywhere I went, I felt followed or I felt somebody was watching me because really I was observing, watching the world, trying to see, watching out for the police, you know. And I know that feeling of being on the run, man, you know, looking over your shoulders. I know that feeling of just banging, looking over your shoulders, trying to watch, making sure you ain't caught slipping, right? I know the feeling of being in prison and looking over your shoulders, making sure the enemy ain't tripping, making sure the Mexicans ain't plotting, making sure, you know, so you watch and learn to observe little things. You learn to observe like, okay, who's whispering, who got their shoes on, you know what I'm saying? Who got a jacket on? It's hot as hell. It's the summertime, but you know certain people in prison always wear jackets. Dead giveaway. They got jackets on, hot in the blazing sun. Chances are they got a big ass knife on them, and they got some type of protective gear around them. They just always prepare for war. Some people's like that. Uh, so all of these behaviors or these all of these habits can put us on heightened alert. We become watchful of our environment, and it has ultimately helped us survive, but it shaped us into the people we are today. So anyway, I was on the run, right? And I was using drugs, right? And so part of what I was feeling was based on some truth. The truth of the matter is I was wanted and they were looking for me. To what extent I will never know, but I do know that, you know, they was going to catch on to me. But this day I had an eerie feeling, you know, I had a feeling, a tightness in my chest. I felt observed. I felt monitored. I couldn't figure it out. So I pull up to the house and it's dark at night. I pull up and I just see a dark street, you know, nothing's out of the ordinary, just cars parked, but I can feel it, I can sense it. And I had just went down to the store to the 7-Eleven. I got my mom inside the pad. And so I go, I got a Slurpee or something and maybe some cigarettes. And I jump out the car and I go inside. When I go inside, you know, I got to give her, and I start getting down to the business. I start going in the room and probably hit something. But I'm thinking, I'm feeling, I remember peeking out the window, looking, everything looked normal, but I still feel it and I can't relax. And I wasn't able to relax. We live inside of a gate. Our house is gated up. But all of a sudden I hear banging on the door. You know that sound, that boo, 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 boo. Police! You know, they want you to come out with your hands up. Come out with your hands up. We got the house surrounded. Come out with your hands up. And I'm inside the house. Got some people inside the house smoking drugs. But they got a warrant for my arrest. But ultimately, everybody in the house was made to come out the house at gunpoint, including my mama, and to lay on the ground. Lay on the ground, and then were cuffed, searched, and things like that. And I tell this situation because I want to back up and go through everything. First, like I said, everybody in the house was made to come out with our hands up. Everybody was given the same treatment as me. Everybody in the house was made to lay on that ground. Everybody that day had a gun pointed on them. My feelings at that time, when I came out, my concern, my biggest complaint, my biggest, things that makes me pissed off was that they had my mama on the ground too. They had my mama on the ground, and they had my mama in flex cuffs, treated like the criminal or something. And so I looked at that, and I was pissed. I was beyond pissed. I was livid. And so I tell that because people say they can't do that. Somebody right now is saying they can't do that. They ain't supposed to do that. Oh, you got a lawsuit. Motherfuckers will do. They do what they want to do. And if you don't like it, you prove that they don't have the right to do it. And then maybe, if you can prove that we did this to you, then maybe we'll apologize. But until then, it ain't about what you know. It's what you can prove. I want you to know, everybody, it ain't about what you know. You can know that they can't do that. They're not supposed to do that. They're not supposed to. Man, listen. Everything, I don't put nothing above certain people, certain entities. Okay? It's an animus that exists. It's some true experiences that has happened. Some true disrespect that has happened. Some true injustice that has happened. But I tell that story because I want to paint the picture that, yes, so they had guns pointed on me. And yes, they had guns pointed on my mama. And yes, we was made to lay on the ground. Disregard for your safety, disregard for your shirt, disregard for your clean clothes. None of that mattered, man. Everything gets put into perspective. You do what I tell you to do. You lay on that ground, or I blow your head off. And that ain't what they said, but that's what their actions demonstrated. Get out here right now. We are in control. Traumatizing stuff, right? Traumatizing for me. I'll tell you, it was traumatizing. This ain't something that I would suggest anybody get used to. So you add that with, like I say, you had that experience with being on heightened alert inside a prison, from being attacked, from silent enemies, people from being attacked from, or been on alert for people. Just, you don't know where the danger is going to come from. You don't know if the police is going to send it by the other inmates or what. But it creates a type of person. I'm one of them type of, it created a person who's always on point, always on alert. And so then you have to, then they want to label you as mentally ill. They'll attempt to, if you allow them. And so how do we know the difference? Most of us are just truly responding to our circumstances. We have become this way. Mental illness does exist. That's why I'm making this video, because I'm an advocate of mental wellness. I believe that we should do the things we can that are within our control to maintain our health, our personal health, you know, our mind, body, and soul. And so be around healthy people, or be around people that don't play tricks on your mind. Be around trustworthy people so you won't always have to be on point. Do things that don't put you in danger and that don't have you looking over your shoulder. And so now, how do I relax and deal with society? Somebody asked me yesterday a good question. Said, are you afraid of the police? Do you have a fear for the police? And initially I responded with a yes. A yes in the sense that I know what they are capable of doing. I know what they have done. My reality dictates that. But then I had to reframe the answer, because one of the things I don't want to appear like is the victim. We're not a victim. I'm not a victim. You know, even though we have maybe been victimized, I don't consider myself a victim. I believe everything I dealt with happened for me, not to me. Okay. And it was horrible stuff. But once you become aware, first of all, what you're dealing with, who you're dealing with, you become aware. And then you become aware of your purpose in life, who you are, and what you were made to do. And ultimately, what's the end result, where you're headed. I've lost the fear of death. So once you lose that, because that's the ultimate, that's what we're all trying to be safe for. We're trying to be safe because we're trying to preserve our life and we're trying to avoid death. But once you have made it up in your mind that death is going to happen, and then you embrace it and say, well, alhamdulillah, I just hope that when it's my turn, I meet it in the most honorable way, which means I don't face it like a coward, and I don't face it for any falsehood or anything evil. And so I lost that fear. The worst they can do is kill this body. The worst they can do. And this is deep, because this ain't something where we trying to be all militant in the sense that we advocating you be reckless and say, fuck it, I'm all in, they can't do it, kill me. No, we love life. We value life. Life is a gift from God. We also know that if you truly believe, the highest form of belief is to accept all that he has ordained. He ordered and decreed that I live this life. He ordered and decreed that I go through the things that I go through. It's a decree from him, and I accept it. And I want to accept it all when it's my turn, humbly, gracefully, and courageously. And so when it comes to the police, there's all different types. All different types. There's ones who hate my existence. There's ones who just want to really protect and serve. You know, who really want to look out for the best interests of the community. There's ones who are racist, have a racist belief, and at the same time want to protect the community. And so maybe they can't stand my black ass, and maybe a skeptic of my black ass. And you know what I'm saying? I'm got my eye on you, but at the same time, are more so encouraged and influenced by a genuine need to just protect and serve the community. Whatever their intentions is, that's between them and God. Uh, the actions of people, everyone's actions, my actions included, affect more than just me. Their actions, the way they approach their job, affect more than just them. She asked, "Are you afraid of the police?" And I said, "Yeah." Then I re-answered and said, "You know what? No. Now that I made it up in my mind that I'm going to die one day, and I made it up in my mind that however it be, I got to say, Alhamdulillah. And that means all praises be to God. However it be, to make sure that I'm prepared to meet my maker. That's my belief and that's my conviction. I got to stand on that and walk in that. And I believe, Fisi Billallah, it will happen. There is no fear. And somebody out there has a belief that, well, if you're doing the right thing, you don't got to worry. See, right there, you already, you bought into the false narrative. You have a belief that as long as you do the right thing, good things will come to you. Or as long as if you don't do nothing wrong, they can't do this to you. And I already explained in the beginning, certain people do what they want to do. They do what they can. The people are going to always do. And so I don't believe that these people are just and I believe these people are unjust. I believe they're a corrupt system. I believe they abuse their power. That's my, that's how I deal with, right? So she said, how do we get past that? How do we get past that? I said, I do get past that. We have to get past that. We can't live in fear. We can't live like every time you see the police, your heart beats and your heart pumps. But if that's your reality, that's your truth, you have to say it. You don't have to say it, but you have to within yourself be aware of your reality. And so for me, my reality is yes, there's something that physically happens to my body, whether my heart start beating. I'm not doing nothing wrong. So because that part doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're doing something right or wrong. It matters that their perception of you is already wrong. I'm aware of how they perceive me. Even if it's an assumption based on my experiences, I am aware that I am an object of their scrutiny. I'm aware that I have been placed into a box and she always challenges me to say like, well, you put yourself in that box. When you think like that, you draw that to you. So it's like, it's two trains of thoughts, right? And both of them probably have the ability to yield power and results. My reality is my reality, and I do believe I can bring certain things into existence, right? You can bring positivity into existence by doing positive and harvesting that energy. But at the same time, you have to know your opponent. You have to know, and you have to know the enemy. You have to know. And so, do I place myself on different sides? Like I say, I have true experiences that have happened when I was sober, that have happened when I was high, that have formed my beliefs of people and individual groups, right? I'm not naive to believe that as long as you don't do nothing wrong, as long as you do everything right, you don't have to worry about it. That's not my truth. My truth is they already are involved in my life. My truth is that anytime they want to pull me over and harass me, that's what they'll do. And it's all about how do I respond to that. And see, how I respond to that is immediately fight or flight. Immediately, my body has a natural reaction to them just even being close to me. Immediately, my heart starts beating. Immediately, my pupils dilate and I focus in on them. I have to concentrate to breathe because immediately I'm aware that I'm in the face of danger. I'm aware that this motherfucker hates me. This motherfucker wants to kill me. And he's looking for a reason. He's probing for a reason, And I'm aware that he can sense an air of pride on me. He senses that pride and that rebellion, that, because, you know, pride and self, you have a little dignity, that's defiant. It's a defiant attitude. It goes against their beliefs of you. It's 2022, you know, maybe it's 2022 and maybe my beliefs or my experiences are holding me back, or maybe they're going to protect me. Either way it goes, I'm open to live in a better world. I'm open to know that, and slowly I have been revealing, like, man, a lot of that stuff that I think, and it's not even like that no more. As far as just in the city, certain things, you know, I done traveled around a little bit. See, I'm trying to get back acclimated, you know, and I haven't had any problems. I won't have any problems with law enforcement. So this is not a video about them. This video is about mental health, mental illness. This video is about distinguishing between the two, threats or perceived threats, you know. And so that's always been my conflict. Trying to determine friend or foe, because it has a lot to do with your experiences. But I am an advocate of those. There's certain individuals who have a chemical imbalance. This is science proves it. And so I believe things that can be backed by science, medical, actual rational proofs can prove that, okay, you have an imbalance, this and this. Imbalance causes you to think like this, causes you to hear things that aren't there, causes you to that with their experience. So I'm no doctor, right? But I'm speaking of my personal experience. So when a person has mental health issues or has mental issues, I believe that they should take it seriously and they should do what's best for them. And if that's medication, they should take the medication. If that's therapy, they should do the therapy. Even alcohol is a way to self-medicate, but the harms of it, some things can make they can make it worse, man. They can make your situation worse, right? But yeah, that's where I stand on the mental health. I advocated for it. I'm going to advocate for it, especially within the black community, because a lot of in the black culture, a lot of times we may be taught or trained that it's just a spirit, and that may be a spiritual concept, spiritual belief, and maybe even a spiritual diagnosis. But for the average person who's not spiritually awoken, who doesn't live off spiritual principles, you got to identify it in the physical. You go something, a way that people can understand. And if you can't do that, then it sounds like what you're saying is just it doesn't reach, it doesn't resonate, and so then you haven't been able to help anybody. So it's more than just you dealing with spirits you possess. No. It's something, and the something is they've experienced something that has caused them severe trauma, that has caused them to believe a certain way and to view life a certain way. And until they address that and kind of undo some of that damage, undo some of that trauma, they will always have these type of mental issues. So mental health is real, man. People who's dealing with it, they're really dealing with what they feel. I got people involved in my life, or that I know that are dealing with mental health, and I assume with drug addiction too. And I'm not completely healthy enough to be around them, but I understand the pain, and I remember it, and I know what they're dealing with enough to just empathize. But I can't reach my hand out and try to help nobody and allow somebody to pull me down with them. That ain't what I'm about today. You know, I got to protect myself, at the same time do what I can to advance my society. Hey, my name is King Monye. I am the leader of my destiny, you know, and I share these words of encouragement with the intentions in mind that maybe it can inspire someone to remember just how great you are. Peace.